What's up, YouTube? This is Swiss Army Dan coming back at you with part 2 of my entire Swiss Army knife collection. The whole collection is going to be Wenger and Victorinox, just by the way. If there is any exception, which there is one exception, I will tell you about it. We just covered A-locks and soldiers and 58 millimeters and 74 millimeters in the last video. So if you want to check any of those out, watch that other video. I'll get right into what I got here. And people, you might be disappointed, but this is my only 111 millimeter in the whole collection, and it's a rucksack. I'm just really not into these knives as much. I like the classic older models generally. I'm not saying these are bad or anything, and if you're more of an outdoors kind of person, you probably do want a locking blade and something like that, but I've just settled for this one rucksack, and I think it's good enough for me. Maybe one day I'll get one of the soldier knives or something for 111 millimeter, but this is all I got for now. Next, we've got a Champion, and if you look at SAC Wiki, it'll call this the Champion C. Let me see if I can get a little bit more light on the subject here. Yeah, and the Champion, it's let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 layer at this point. No pliers on this one. It's metal tweezers. I'd say mid-70s for this Champion. It's pretty cool. I like these a lot, so I got 2 of them. 2 Champions there. Next one down as far as the layers go is this Ranger. Nice Ranger. It's a 5 layer. So that's saw, file, scissors, your standard openers, small blade, large blade. Ranger's pretty cool. I really like the the camping inlay on these knives. Next we've got an Explorer. This is pre-hook, pre-91 Explorer. Pretty cool. Got another Explorer, and it's post-91 with a hook. We've got here, it's a Huntsman. Here's another Huntsman. It's got a cracked scale on that one. Here's a Huntsman with this little logo. Yeah. Here is another Huntsman. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. This is a Fieldmaster with the screwdriver on the back. Fieldmaster. Here's another Huntsman with a Bern Switzerland logo. So that's all the Huntsmans and a Fieldmaster. Here is a Fisherman. This is going to be a regular Fisherman with a hook. It's pretty common. I'm sorry, there was one more Huntsman with scales. Here's another Fisherman. This is probably going to be from the 70s. It's got an old inlay on it. It's got a square screwdriver on the back. Pretty cool. I'd say mid-70s or so on that. Here's another one. Some people call this the Drunken Fisherman because it has the corkscrew. You might find a name called the Angler, but the Angler usually had another layer or Monus layer or whatever. I think this was marketed as the Fisherman when it was sold. So there's four layers. In the 3 layers here, we've got a 60s Elonox camper. Wasn't called the camper at this point. It's called the 237U. I'm not sure what the name would be on it, but the camper was referring to the Spartan at that time. Here's probably the next camper in the line is this one. It's probably a mid-70s camper. Got another one of those, and then like a little bit later camper. This one does have the half stop, so it's like post-85 with this kind of inlay. Good old camper, and what makes it a camper is the, of course, the saw. Here is the one exception that's not even a Swiss knife. It's an ISC Solingen German knife that looks just like a camper, but I thought I'd include that. Here's a white economy scaled camper. Here is a red economy scale camper. Here is another red economy scale camper, probably from the 70s. Here's my EDC camper, and it used to have the inlay on it. Yeah, you can probably see it there. Not anymore. And then this is a hiker with the Phillips on the back, just like a camper with the Phillips. Next, this is probably the oldest climber I have, and it's probably 60, 61, 68 with the bail, with that 5-turns corkscrew with the clip point blade, small blade with the pad on it. Pretty cool old climber there. Here's another old climber. It's got metal tweezers on it. It's got a clip point blade, so this is like a pre-73 climber. These three climbers here are probably like early 80s, mid 70s climbers. They'll have the drop point blade on the back. Pretty cool. Another climber is pre-hook. It's probably an 80s climber. Pre-85, no half stop there. And then here's a regular climber that's closer to what you'll find now. Post 91, just old climber. I like the climber a lot, and I give these away every once in a while as friends. To friends, so I keep a couple extra of those around. This one, the 80C, is a climber plus with black one with plus scales. Here is 85 to 91 black climber. Next, we're moving to super tinkers. Here's a 61, 68. Both these are real similar, and actually, I forgot to mention, both these do have Hofritz stamps on them, so they were, imported by Hofritz. Pretty cool. Here's some more super tinkers. I won't go too much time on these. These are all just super tinkers. I kind of reserve them as gifts too. Next one is an interesting one, and it's a Yeoman. It's got an inline Phillips, it's got a magnifying glass, it's got scissors, large blade, and combo tool. So it's like the compact plus that magnifying glass and inline Phillips. It's got the plus scales on it, it's got a hook, and then nothing on this layer on the back layer. So that's the Yeoman. It's pretty cool, kind of collectible. Here's the altimeter. 84 degrees in here right now. Got the door open, it's too warm, huh? Here is a trail guide, only made from Marlboro. It's just like the compact plus this file, so it's got scissors, large blade, combo tool. Yeah, pretty cool. Here's the Alpinier. It's just like the Explorer minus the scissors. So small blade, large blade, inline Phillips, magnifying glass, and your standard openers. And this one has an awesome inlay on it. It says Alpinier. Next, this one's interesting. It's an 84mm climber. So here's a regular climber. You see, same tool, 84mm. I did a climber without the hook, so you can see the difference there. Yeah, but it's just 84mm, and it's goodness gracious. It's trying to get away. It's like, Swiss Army Dan, you're not mine, bro. Okay, there we go. There's the 84mm climber. Pretty sweet. Man, hope he's okay. He went for quite a ride just there, didn't he? Okay, here we got a couple Sportsmans. Here's a red nylon Sportsman 2, blue nylon Sportsman 2. Next, we're moving into some Wengers. Here's two kind of newish Highlanders. There's a Commander. Here's a serrated backpacker. Pretty cool. It's got the saw blade on there too. 85mm. So I'm kind of going down in size, you see. Here's the Skier. What's really cool about this, it's actually called a ski loper. I think the Skier has another layer on it, maybe it adds scissors, but pretty cool. This little skiing man there. Wenger Traveler. This is probably one of my favorite Wenger models. It's just like a climber, but it, has the file, no hook, no hole in the ream or punch, but it's got that cool Wenger keychain. So I really like that one. I got 3 of them. Really like the Traveler. Next this is a Viking with the key ring on it. So it's just like the Spartan, pretty much. Here's an older Viking with a 5-turn corkscrew, which I think makes it pre-75. Pretty cool. Here is an entree. It's got the Wenger combo tool on it, so 1 layer. Here's a Wenger Classic Series. I think they even called this the Viking at one point, but it's just got a clip point blade. Here's a Wenger Patriot 84mm, large blade, small blade. Here's a Wenger Snipe series, and I think this one's called the Handy. It's got the hands on it. It's probably an early 90s thing. Here's an old Tourist clip point blade, no scale tools, pretty cool. No stamp at all on the back of this old Tourist, which I thought was pretty cool. Here's another Tourist from about that same era, clip point blade, no keyring, no scale tools, and that's the stamp on it. Here's another Taurus, just maybe a couple years later than that one. Drop point blade on that. No keyring, no scale tools. Another one just like it. I collect these things, you know. I like these old kind of mid-70s, early 80s Taurus, 70s to 80s Taurus. Here's another one. It's got the clip point blade on it. No scale tools, no keyring, and yeah, pretty sweet. Another Taurus, it's a little bit older. It says Schneeberger. Taurus with Swiss Air. Taurus with Sandaz. And then we move to an 84mm golfer, which is pretty cool. It's the ancestor to the compact, and yeah, pretty cool. No hook, 84mm, no pin, no straight pin. I got another one of those. I'll just compare the combo tools on these two real quick. This one's the newer version. This one's the older version of the combo tool on these two guys. But yeah, there's two 84mm golfers. Discontinued. Here we've got a small tinker with a square screwdriver on it. Pretty neat. Drop point blade. Another small tinker. This is a newer version. Another small tinker. I think it's even older on this one. It does have the clip point blade on it. And it does have scale tools. It's got the aluminum tip tweezers. Next we got a Recruit. Another Recruit. This one's a serrated Recruit, which is kind of cool. This is a Recruit with no scales on it. Pretty cool. Here's another Recruit. Turn my there we go. Turn my glow back on here. I found a purpose for this broken TV here. Pretty cool, huh? Here's a lumberjack. It's got large blade, saw, and combo tool. Here's a pocket pile. It's just a large blade and a small blade. Here's two waders here. One keyring, no scale tools. One no keyring with scale tools. Here's a Bantam. It's just going to be your large blade and a combo tool. Here's that Hofritz I left out in the other video. I finally found it. It's a 74mm executive Hofritz, probably from the 70s because it does have the old style scissors. Here's two Wenger Esquires, which is just like the Vic Classic, but the Wenger version. So, bam! That is my entire collection. 2 videos put together, just over a half hour. You know, hopefully this time next year I'll show you, you know, twice the size of the collection. Who knows? But I appreciate you guys watching. Be kind to each other. Swiss Army Dan's going to let you go. I'm out.